I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. There is a legislative session scheduled to start next week. And Bob, what do you think they should get done, given everything that's going on?
Well, I think that COVID dictates that. We're in a period of very high transmission. I think it is reckless to have the sort of interactions that are inherent to the legislative process. So in my view, they should do two things. They should pass a status quo budget to ensure that regardless of what happens with COVID between now and the end of the state's fiscal year in June, state programs can continue, and then adjourn indefinitely. If there was anything that the legislature absolutely had to get done in the short term, then I could see taking the risk. But given that with the rollout of the vaccine, there's a good chance that a quasi-normal legislative session can occur in May. With 2 months left to fight about stuff before the end of the fiscal year, I think that the sensible course of action, taking into consideration the health and safety of everyone who participates in the process, is to just wait and see what things are later in the year.
We already have at least one senator, Kelly Townsend, who says she's not going to comply with a mask mandate in the chamber. How do you think that's going to play out?
I think it has a great potential for a blow up of the session if they attempt to do a normal session. The legislative leadership in both the Senate and the House have tried to adopt protocols to protect health and safety that includes temperature checks, mandatory masks, and a limitation on public participation, which I think is troublesome in its own right. Townsend undoubtedly would not be the only one to say, I'm not going to accept that protocol and violate it. And the ability to enforce it is highly doubtful. And I think that for reasons that I don't entirely understand, Democrats seem to be more concerned about COVID spread than Republicans, and particularly conservative Republicans. So if it can't be held safely, particularly because conservative Republicans refuse to abide by sensible protocols, I think you've got a chance for a blow up with very hard feelings along partisan lines. And given how narrow the margins are in the legislature, I think that has the potential to make the legislative business, whenever it takes place, even more difficult than it otherwise would be. And again, there's no reason for it. There's nothing that can't wait until we see how far we can get along with vaccinations and restart the session in May or so.
Yeah, and I guess we'll all be watching as it gets underway virtually.
Except for them, they'll be there.
Right. We'll be on the outs, they'll be on the ends.
Right.
Good to see you again, Bob.
Good.